Okay, here we go. Here we go again. So right now I'm doing a tape reading. So tape reading will basically be me every night, right? So this is a new routine I want to start now. Every night, you know, after the day is done, I'll just come on here, do my analysis, my top-down analysis from the monthly time frame to the weekly time frame to the daily time frame to the 4 hour time frame, right? Do the higher time frame analysis on gold. I will start on gold and maybe eventually work my way into other pairs, maybe the DXY, look at DXY, look at Euro USD, look at, whatever I can or whatever I transition into. But we know that gold is the pair I've been practicing with for a while now, right? So yeah, and it's crazy. Like, so this everything is basically going to be with like ICT concepts because like the whole point is to get better, right? To improve on the skill set, or ICT basically that's technical analysis, right? So I'm learning that strategy, and this is tape reading, right? And again, this is another part of the process, right? So you guys have seen me build a trading model and everything, but that trading model isn't really like how do I put it? It's just it's not there's no how do I put it? There's nothing much to it, it's just very simple by this time, it just builds the idea of um following a system or following a training model, right? That's just the idea behind all of what I've did so far, or what I've done so far, sorry. So right now the goal is to actually deepen my knowledge of ICT concepts. So I'm going to be doing this tape reading using ICT concepts. So here on this monthly time frame right now, we can see we have this equal highs, right? So we know what ICT talks about when it talks about stop runs, right? So you can see we have a stop run or this equal lows, and now we're looking for this stop run, this equal highs. Now this stop run could be either to we don't know if price is going to want to continue higher or if price is going to want to dump, right? I can't tell. That's something I can't tell. I don't know what price wants to do, right? But if we look at this chart, because I have two different gold charts on here, right? So if we look at this, let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of this real quick because I want you to see. Like you can see, price has taken out these equal highs here, right? Price has taken out these equal highs here, but on this one, so I know it's like different brokers, so I don't know. I don't know what this is. So if anyone knows what the hell is going on, yeah. So this is two different brokers showing two different things, right? Here we haven't had a run on these equal highs, but right here we've had a run on these equal highs. But nevertheless, we will still look at this as a sweep of liquidity because one thing ICT says is like the majority of the volume is in the body of the candles, right? So you can see the body of these candles and you can see these wicks, right? So seeing as price has closed above these candles bodies, it's assumed that we've run liquidity, right? Despite the fact that we haven't come above these weak highs, right? Even here, we can see here, right? Price came above this these candles bodies and then went below this equal lows, right? Same thing that price did right here, right? Went above. So we could actually see price push to the downside or have a rollover, maybe into this bullish this potential other block, right? Maybe, right? Everything is a maybe. This is just tape reading. I'm just pointing out what I'm seeing. And if we take our fibs, let's use the Fibonacci from this low right here, all the way to this high. Now let's look at, so this is, we have equilibrium all the way here. So we can see this fair value gap, this other block, they are all above equilibrium, right? So if price was to sell from here, we wouldn't be buying, we wouldn't be looking to buy these levels, except, but if we look at this swing point, let's look at this swing points from this low to this high, right? If we look at this now, this fair value gap, right? Let me zoom in to this price action, right? And I'm using the candles bodies, not the candle wicks, right? Place it right there, yes. So if we look at this, right, we can see that this fair value gap falls into, like, we have the 62% retracement, we have this other block, right, and we have this fair value gap, and they all fall into that. They all fall like within, from the equilibrium point to like optimal trade entry and all of that. So this is what ICT would describe as a discount, right? Discount. So you want to buy at discount and you want to sell at premium, right? So this would be like discount levels, and above the equilibrium point will be premium. So you want to sell at premium and buy at discount. You get. So if we actually see price fall to the downside, we'll be targeting this discount PDRAs, right? PDRAs in form of the other block and this fair value gap, right? So that's what we'll be looking at. That's if price is to fall. Now, actually, if we look at what we are seeing here, right, we've seen this move to the downside, price broke above, move to the downside, price broke above, right? So we can see price retesting here. So there's only two things price could really do from here, right? You see that we have that move to the upside, right? So that we get that expansion to the upside, or alternatively, we get a push to the downside, and this acts as a breaker block, and we move down, right? If these candles right here, these two down candles right here, could be like a potential breaker block, right? That's if price falls through here. This could act as a potential breaker block, break higher, falls break. This would be like a potential turtle soup pattern. Falls break above these highs, price comes this way. So that's a potential breaker block right there. Let's go down to the daily. So on the daily time frame, you can see what I'm trying to say, right? Let me go back to the weekly and let me mark this out. I want to mark this out so we can see what I'm saying. And let me leave this zone on there just to show you what I'm saying. Okay, I don't think it was visible. Visibility. Let's put it on the days, on the hours. Let's take it off the minutes. But let me keep it on just the days and the weeks. Okay, drop down to the daily time frame real quick. So you can see what I'm saying right here. And you can see where price is retesting from, right? So if this is a potential order block, what I want to see price doing, if this is a potential breaker block rather, what I want to see price doing is this, right? Break below here, retest here, and then if this happens, like, this would be beautiful for, this would be good for shorting this market, like. And this higher time frame PDR is very, very, like, high probability when we have these higher time frame PDRs, right? So what are we seeing here? We have seen a run above these highs. We have this potential breaker block. If price actually breaks through this, and this serves as a breaker block, right? Then we have a lot of levels to target, right? We have a lot. We have this weekly fair value gap, and then when price comes into here, we could be looking for potential buys, right? Because this is a discount zone, right? This is a discount PDRA. We also have this equal lows. This doesn't if this doesn't act as support for price to go higher, you can see we also have other blocks here. We have fair value gaps here, and then we have equal lows here, right? Because if we take this swing low all the way to this swing high, right, we can see we have discount PDRAs below here as well. Okay, no, I'm sorry. This is the swing low. if we take this swing low to this swing high, right, it will give us a different perspective on the market, right? So from this swing low to this swing high, we would see that okay, this is just price has to go all the way below here to come into like the discount PDRAs, right? So it can be a lot, but yeah, just bear with me. Over time, I'm going to get better at explaining these things. So yeah, it's going to be so much better explaining these things. So anybody that's watching, if you're confused, you know, over time, it's going to get easier to understand. I need to delete all of this because it's making my chart cluttered. But I'm going to do that later. I'll clean up the chart later. So let's look at what could potentially happen in the markets, right? So like we've seen price respected this mitigation block, right? We've seen price respected this mitigation block, and now like okay, on the higher time frames, we are seeing potential rollover, right? And into that fair value gap. And I'm not saying it's going price is going there, right? I'm just saying if price was to go there, where are the levels it could potentially go for, right? And there's a lot of sell side liquidity that has been building up, right? A lot of sell side liquidity has been building up. You can see price took out these equal highs here, this mitigation block here, you know, came into this um, mitigation block here, and we're at this breaker block, which is acting as an inversion right now, right? It is acting as support. But if we break below this, we will keep going lower and lower and lower. We have equal lows here. We will take that out. We have equal lows here. We will take that out and come all the way into this other block. So there's potential for the market to go to the downside, and there's potential for the market to go to the upside as well. Overall, I don't even know what direction the market is in, because on the monthly time frame, the two charts, we can see like two different things on both charts, right? There's one where the highs have been taken out, and there's one where the highs have been taken out, right? But we've been seeing a lot of expansion, a lot of huge moves to the downside recently. So price could be wanting to expand lower, hunting sell side. We've seen price hunting sell side liquidity recently, right? Hunted this, took these lows out, took these equal lows, took these equal lows. So that could be a sign, right? I haven't seen any buy stops getting raided in a while, right? So we're not raiding buy stops. We haven't been raiding buy stops in a while. So yeah, we have this BC here. And what I'm just looking at, we have the weekly open and we have price above the weekly open, right? So if we are to short this market above the weekly open, right, that's going to be like a good trade, especially if the weekly candle expands towards the downside. And everything I'm doing here is just I'm not executing any live trades. So please don't use any of this like for as a signal or whatever. This is just to help my learning process, and I'm uploading this to my forex journal, right? It is my own forex journal. I'm just trying to show you guys how to like go get better, like take this as a learning, take trading as something you're learning, right? It's not really about like I don't know how to put it. You're just learning, basically. You're learning. So embrace the learning process. Don't rush. Don't be quick to make money or anything. Just learn the skill. There's so much to learn. There's technical analysis, fundamental analysis, and then there's the opportunity for you as an individual. You have to master yourself, basically, right? You have to know who you are as a person. And there's so much involved before you even think about just trying to make money and all of that. Let me drop down to the 15-minute time frame real quick. And you can see this gap. We have this gap here. We have this equal highs here. And you can see the trade we have for today, right? So I have the Asian range marked out. So this Asian range, I'm using an indicator for this Asian range, but for some reason it never prints Monday's Asian range. So I always have to draw it out by myself, right? So I don't know if I should go over this entry real quick. Okay. So this is how I always look at it, right? So what I always want to see is I want to see manipulation after 9 a.m. Nigerian time, right? After 9 a.m. This is in London session, right? I want to see a manipulation, right? So we see. So I'm expecting the market to go down. If I'm expecting the market to go down, I want to see accumulation in Asia. I want to see manipulation in London, like, and mostly majorly after 9 a.m. Right? I want to see price break above the highs, right? Because I'm looking to sell. If I'm looking to buy, I want to see price come below Asian low, right? So we saw price come above the highs, on the 1 minute time frame. That was where this entry was framed, right? And I did not enter this trade on a live account, please. This trade was not taken on a live account. It wasn't even taken on a demo account, right? I just observe. I'm just observing price action. So we had this breaker block here. As you can see, price moved, broke above this high, and then fell back below, right? Even on the 3 minutes, let me look at this on the 3 minute time frame, right? On the 3 minute time frame, it looks so much better. Broke above this high, right? Broke below, right? So these two down candles becomes the breaker block. One, two. Price breaks below it, retest. That's the entry. Place the stops, and then where were the targets? This equal lows, right? So we target this equal lows, and if we go back to the 15-minute time frame, below this equal lows, what did we have? We had this. So on the 30-minute time frame, if I look at this on the 30-minute time frame, these two candles will actually give you, like, you can see right here what I'm trying to outline, right? We have a gap, right? So equal lows and a fair value gap. Price came into that, boom, hit it, and then we saw a reversal. So this trade was a 1 to 3, right? So that was the setup for that. So what am I expecting to see tomorrow? I'm probably expecting to see another manipulation to the upside because I'm still expecting shorts, and we have these equal highs here. So I'm expecting to see price maybe get read this. So if we get manipulation after 9 a.m., right, or maybe before New York session, maybe 1:30 p.m. If we get any manipulation to the upside, let's say we have Asian range accumulation, because you can see the market is moving sideways, right? So probably Asian range will accumulate, will move sideways, being consolidation. And then if we get manipulation into this CB right here, then we'll be looking for price. We still have this equal lows down here. We have the weekly open. These equal lows are below the weekly open, right? So like I said, if the weekly candle is to expand down to the downside, we already have sell side liquidity stacked below the weekly open, right? So that weekly candle, if it's moving down, there's a lot of sell side to take out. We have these equal lows, we have the previous week's low, and we also have these equal lows here, right? And just like I showed you with this trade, right? Below this equal, below those, right? I'm on the right. Yeah. Okay. Right here. Sorry. I said below this equal lows, we had fair value gap that price came into, right? It's the same thing we have here. We have this equal lows, and then we have fair value gap. So we will see price do this, right? So tomorrow is Tuesday, and Tuesday is ICT says, like, Tuesday is a good day for trading. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, right? So we could see Tuesday or Wednesday deliver to the downside like this, right? So this is just my own expectation for price action, because lately we've been seeing price taking clearing sell side liquidity, right? So we could expect to see that. And looking at the higher time frames, we have that 4 hour mitigation block. Yeah, so, and we have a potential breaker block, right? So if price actually keeps moving to the downside on the daily time frame, right? If price keeps moving to the downside, then on the daily time frame, this breaker block setup could become valid, because we could end up seeing price close below this, and this breaker block, this will become a breaker block, and then we'll be looking for this to manifest. Right, so this is basically how ICT traders trade, trying to anticipate where the market is going. So this is my first tape reading session, and I'll end things here. and I'll see you guys in the next one. So I'll try to do this consistently on a daily basis, right? So peace.